Today we're going to be covering the Avengers Secret Wars comic book. Now, Secret Wars was an event that happened within Marvel Comics back in 2015. While there was a ton of tie-ins known as Battleworld, there is a core storyline that is all about Reed Richards and Dr. Doom, and that's what we're bringing you here today on Comicstorian Full Story.
Okay, listen up. I'm Valeria Richards, and I'm the daughter of Reed and Sue Richards, and I don't like to get dramatic. The world is ending in 95 hours, and we've built a ship to save as many people as we can. A life raft. One of the children from the Future Foundation chimes in. So the world's just gonna end and we're gonna run? That's the brilliant plan? Never mind the fact that this thing can only seat like 60 people. And Franklin Richards then chimes in. You don't get it, Alex. They tried. Some of the greatest minds in the universe came together to form the Illuminati. Captain America, Black Bolt, Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, Namor, and Reed Richards. They discovered that multiple universes were smashing into each other and destroying each other, so they tried to save everyone. At first, they tried to use the Infinity Gauntlet, but that failed along with every other answer they came up with. Till eventually, the only answer was destroying worlds. But this was too much for the great men to deal with, and they all broke and the Illuminati splintered. But as each of them prepared for the end of the world in their own way, the Cabal formed, led by Namor, the only hero that was willing to do what was needed to stop the universe from ending. As more heroes learned of the universe ending, everything turned upside down and everyone started fighting and lines were drawn in the sand. But in the end, none of it was enough. The kids all went back to work trying to solve the answer to the end of the world themselves. And 4 days passed, leading to the next incursion, the next time two worlds would smash together. The end of the world. But is it the end of the world? Who's been pulling the strings of this event, and why did this event even happen? The whole thing is a plan from the Beyonders, a master experiment to see if they can plan the end of the universe. But Dr. Doom, of all people, learned of this, and he learned of their plan to use Reese, the Molecule Man, of each universe as a bomb to destroy each world. And he stopped it by destroying the world himself. The reason the worlds have been colliding is because he's been ending them earlier than the Beyonders could. Because isn't it worth saving something if you can't save everything? And he now stands before the Beyonders, forcing the final worlds to collide. Marvel 616 and the Ultimate Universe. While he stands before the Beyonders, facing off with beings capable of creating and destroying universes, all of our heroes are attempting to battle against each other, each trying to destroy the other's world to save their own. And while this battle is happening and Dr. Doom is standing before the Beyonders with Doctor Strange, Reed is loading up whoever he can into the life raft in an attempt to save what he can. No one knows what to do. These enemies look like they're friends, but they can't be. They're attacking each other. The world is literally ending, and there is death and destruction everywhere. Everyone is attempting drastic measures to save their own world, from Spider-Man swinging around and saving who he can, to the Guardians of the Galaxy landing to join in, but one man decides to go to the extreme. Cyclops finds where the Phoenix Force is being kept, and he takes it into himself again. It's power that he hasn't felt since the Avengers vs. X-Men event, but it's something that he knows he can use to save the world. While this is going on, Miles Morales, otherwise known as the Ultimate Spider-Man, is crawling around the outside of the Baxter building as Reed is preparing to launch it by getting a hero known as Manifold into the ship. This can't be the end, but if it is, they're going to save who they can. Manifold begins teleporting whoever he can onto the ship as the world is literally dying around everyone, and he grabs Thor, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, and Peter Quill off of the planet's surface, and he even has the power to grab Phoenix Force Cyclops. They are all now in the life raft with Reed, and the world begins to end around all of them. Nothing but the white light of creation remains. The ship takes heavy damage as it takes off, and the back end gets cut off. Reed is then forced to watch as Sue, Johnny, and the Thing and his kids all fall away. They fall into the nothingness around them. He reaches out for them, but without the protective bubble of the ship, the end of everything absorbs them. But is this the end? No, because Doom has managed to do something that no one thought possible. He saved what he could from the multiverse. Everything did end. And in its wake, Doom made his new world. A world you will not recognize. A world separated by a mighty wall, with worlds of the multiverse changed into sections of this world. This place is called the Battleworld, and its inhabitants are woefully unaware of the changes that Doom has created in this world. All of them worship God Doom, their savior and their ruler. There are many changes to the norm that you will notice as we go through our story, but there are two individuals that managed to retain their memories from the world before. One of them is Doctor Strange, now the sheriff of God Doom's world, and the other is God Doom himself. Thor has been changed into a core of Thors. All of the hammers from across the multiverse are now used as a peacekeeping force. And to make matters more interesting, Doctor Strange receives a report of a breach in the Battleworld, a ship that has crash landed onto this world when they shouldn't even have ships. So he sends his Thor Corps to examine it, to contain the situation and return it to him. Two of the Thors went to examine the ship, and as they grew closer, the hatch opened, and a spear flew out of the ship into the Elder Thor. He tells his young comrade to run, fly off, and tell the sheriff that they have found death in this ship, just as another spear goes through his head. Out of the ship steps the Cabal. Thanos, Maximus the Mad, Black Swan, Namor, Proxima, Terex, Corvus Glaive, and the Maker. The Maker is the interesting one though. He is actually the Reed Richards of the Ultimate Universe, but in a universe where he's gone mad. He made his own life raft and he saved some of the greatest evils in the Marvel Universe. So where is the hero's life raft? Thanos steps forward and grabs one of the locals. Where are we? We call this place Battleworld. Word gets back to Strange and he informs Doom of the problem before heading to the site of the crashed craft. He walks onto the site of the craft and he sees the fallen Thor, and he's highly displeased. He uses the powers granted to him, and he realizes that they are no longer alone in this place that has been created. He immediately sends the Thor Corps out to investigate the situation, and they take to the skies and they begin to look while Strange turns back to the ship. Don't make me come in there. That's when Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man, pokes his head out. Okay, you got me. Look, I have no idea what's going on, but the last thing I remember was sneaking onto, you've been on the ship the entire time? Yeah, like I said, it wasn't my ship. I have no idea who these guys are. All I know is I snuck in trying to figure out what these guys, bad guys, basically, who dresses like that, were doing in the giant dome. Because, like, another world appeared in the sky and, wait, are you telling me you remember before? Meanwhile, back at Castle Doom, God Doom spends a moment with his family. His wife Sue is going on about how she misses her brother Johnny. Ever since he got changed into the son of this world, she has missed him. But he was a rebel, and she accepts his fate. While their children, Franklin and Valeria, play with Galactus, their giant toy. Sue then goes on to express that Doom should go down among his people. He shouldn't separate himself like this. And then she removes his mask to see his disfigured face, the one thing he couldn't heal. All this power, and he is still damaged. Back with Doctor Strange, the Thor, and Miles, Strange wants to show Miles something. Something he found a long time ago and he's kept hidden from God Doom. Something that he had no idea what it was until now. He walks them to another life raft and using the power of the Thor, he opens the door to it. The door lowers and Star-Lord asks, "Are we there yet?" Cause it doesn't look like we're there yet. And standing with him in the doorway is Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, and Thor. Miles runs over. "Peter, is that you?" "Miles? Yeah." "No way. What? How are you here?" But Captain Marvel has a better question. How are any of us here? The last thing I remember was the ending, and now you're here, Doctor Strange? A man who disappeared months ago? What's going on, Steven? Perplexed, Strange answers. That depends on your answer to the question of worlds. Are you really my Captain Marvel, or are you another version of Carol that I once knew? Better put, am I who you think I am? Basically, are you the only ones that survived? No, there are a few more of us, and she points to Cyclops, now possessed by the Phoenix, and Black Panther, and Reed Richards. Star-Lord interrupts their reunion, asking the million-dollar question though. Where are we? I have to warn you, the situation is very complicated. You've been in stasis for 8 years. Everything died in that moment of death, but God made a new world, this one, constructed out of the remnants off of the incursion points. Some of our Earth remains, but most of it does not. No one remembers the world from before. Who is this God you speak of? Reed asks. Doom, Reed. It's Victor Von Doom. He saved us all. Everyone gets a shocked look on their face. Meanwhile, across the world, the Thor Corps has found the Cabal, and they want answers right this second. The Thor Corps begins the battle with the villains right away because as you would expect, the Cabal isn't about to provide the answers anyone seeks. But these are very powerful individuals and they take out the Thor Corps without any real problems. Back with Strange in the life raft, he explains why the heroes couldn't figure out what was killing the world and why the end was growing closer. It was because Doom was doing it. In the end, he ultimately killed the individuals responsible for ending the world, and then he took their power for himself, allowing him to make this new world. Ever since he became God Doom, Strange has stood by his side because regardless of what Strange wants, God Doom has reigned. Miles asks if his world is gone and Strange tells him, not all of it, small portions have been saved. Scott in his Phoenix form asks though, if you were unhappy with what was created and you had the power to change it, isn't it your responsibility to burn it down and raise something better? Meanwhile, in Castle Doom, one of the Thors falling to the Cabal returns to inform him what has happened, and he shows him the Cabal. His daughter Valeria informs him that the outcome is unforeseen, and that is when they see Strange and his life raft members appear out of nowhere. Nothing currently looks out of the ordinary to God Doom though, because it just looks like the mortals of his worlds are fighting other mortals, though their ability to withstand a Thor's hammer is an interesting situation. That is, until he sees Reed Richards in the fight, and this causes him a moment of pause. I have searched the entire Battleworld for some version of you, and found none. Now here you stand before me. Doom warps out of his castle and into the battlefield. Richards. The Maker turns as he is also a version of Reed Richards, but he quickly realizes that this God Doom isn't talking to him. Reed stares him down. So it's true. You made an amazing artificial construct of reality. Yes, I did what you and your ilk could not. I saved the unsavable in the face of total annihilation. I couldn't help but notice you decided to put yourself on a throne. Spider-Man helps out with that though. Yeah, we're all absolutely shocked by that decision. A throne? I've had a throne for a while. I put myself a bit higher than that. I am God. Then the ground around our heroes explodes with Doom's might. So Phoenix Scott leaps in and begins to bombard Doom with the power of the Phoenix. He falls to his knees in pain and Strange sees what's about to come. He raises his hand just as Doom grabs Scott by the throat. And then, as Doom breaks Scott's neck, killing the Phoenix Force, Strange warps everyone out of the battlefield. Where did you send them, Steven? I sent them to the wind. We both know what was about to happen. They would refuse to bow to you and then you would eliminate them. Call them back. No, you will not test me. I've been with you since the beginning, Doom. So Doom raises his hand and he kills Stephen Strange. The next day, a mighty funeral was held for Sheriff Strange. The Thors deemed him worthy of Valhalla, and Franklin Richards told everyone that he would crush whoever did this. But once the ceremony was complete and everyone had shared their thoughts, Doom finds his daughter Valeria all alone in the evening, and she asks, "Who is God to let this happen?" And Doom tells her, "No one will escape his judgment." He walks down into the bowels of Castle Doom, a place that doesn't exist, the remnants of the end of the universe, the white-hot room, to find Reese the Molecule Man and inform him Stephen Strange has died. Ha! That doesn't surprise me. It was cancer, wasn't it? It's always cancer. No, it was his self-doubt. Interesting. Surprising, really. How could that have happened? He was there, he saw it, he knew the truth. He was only there in the end, Mr. Reese. You were the only one there in the beginning. No. It was the Lords of the White Light in the beginning, the Beyonders. They built whole universes off of random ideas and they twisted life into every possible shape. Then they got bored with life and they started loving the idea of death. Sometimes you've tinkered with all you can and you want to start over. So they made me, the Molecule Man, a bomb built to destroy the entire multiverse. They then set me off and watched me explode in multiple universes. But luckily, they forgot they gave me a choice. And my choice was you, Doom. I chose to have you kill me before I was set off to explode. And then a religion of black swans was built around you, Doom. And now, near the end of things, it got a bit tricky, so we brought in Stephen Strange. While your religion of swans were Billy killing the Molecule Men of the multiverse, we built a better bomb, a better me, and then we stood in defiance in front of the Beyonders, and you destroyed them, and you took their power. And now, Stephen Strange is gone. Goodbye. I want you to know that it was I that put him down. I know. You don't think I can smell the stench of guilt on you? You started something, Victor. The unraveling of what might just bring us down. And if something happens to you, this world would go bye-bye. You are the one holding it together. And that is why this is exciting. And next time, Doom, bring me something to eat. Meanwhile, Valeria goes to the remnants of the Future Foundation to give them a single job. Playing hide and seek with these rebels, the ones trying to take their kingdom down, that tires her. So they're reading the spikes of where Sheriff Strange sent these rebels. They don't know why his energy is attached to them, or why he helped them, or why he was killed. But they will find out, and they will find who was responsible. Meanwhile, Thor ended up in Doomguard with the Thor Corps. Namor and Black Panther have ended up together, which is something that hasn't happened since Black Panther tried to kill Namor. Captain Marvel was brought to Baron Sinister in Black Swan while she ended up in Doomstadt with Lord Doom. Valeria tells the kids that she wants to know what happened, what really happened. And while this is going on, Thanos looks on to where he ended up, at the base of the wall that surrounds the Battleworld, the Shield. 3 weeks have passed since everyone was thrown to the wind and placed in different parts of the Battleworld. Valeria tells her father that she doesn't have good news. She couldn't find the rebels anywhere, and the only luck they've had was Apocalypse stumbling onto 2 of them. 2 of the villains, Corvus Glaive and his companion, Proxima Midnight. It is Black Swan who informs God Doom of this. Black Swan is one of the survivors of Doom's religious cult from before the Battleworld, and she has no idea what the plans of her team are. Meanwhile, the Foundation has found multiple drones being built and sent out, and they are coming from Project 42, where Reed Richards of the main universe and Reed Richards of the Ultimate Universe, also known as the Maker, are working on them. They have differing opinions on how to handle the situation. The Maker wants to kill a god, but Reed doesn't want to think about that yet. Reed's answer is to figure out how Doom got the power to begin with, and his answer is to have both Spider-Men working on it, Peter and Miles. They are using Reed's device to track the source of Doom's power, and that's when they run into Valeria, because she is also looking for the source of her father's power. Peter is in shock that it's her, but Val doesn't know who he is. She points them to the trapdoor leading to the source of the power, and she tells them that she isn't going with them. When Peter asks why not, she explains that she's already had enough going on, and if she finds out that her father isn't who he says he is, well, she doesn't know if she can handle that. So she asks if either of them killed Strange, and of course they both say no, so she leaves them to it. They crawl into the trapdoor and they find themselves in the white-hot room. Once again, the source of all creation. As they walk deeper inside, they find Reese the Molecule Man sitting there, and Reese asks them, "Did you bring me anything to eat?" So Miles pulls a hamburger out of his pocket and Reese takes it from him. He hasn't had anything to eat in weeks. Peter looks at Miles. "How did you forget you had a hamburger in there?" "We've been busy." "It's a hamburger. I get hungry. Puberty is rough. I'm starving all the time, Peter." "No, I mean, where did you get it? And don't tell me your pocket." "From home. My Earth, you know?" "So that's an 8-year-old and 3-week hamburger?" "I don't think stasis counts." "Okay, so it's a 3-week-old hamburger." "Oh man, you shouldn't eat that." But Reese is already munching it down, and once it's gone, he tells them that he knows why they're there, and for right now he has clarity, and he would like to let them know that he is the source of Doom's power. Meanwhile, Black Panther and Namor have somehow not killed each other in the last 3 weeks, and on top of that, they've somehow ended up in Doctor Strange's hidden refuge from God Doom. Inside, they find 2 objects that Doctor Strange has kept hidden from Doom. A device that will transport someone anywhere they want and reveal their true nature. And they found the Infinity Gauntlet, complete with the gems. Meanwhile, Thanos walks into the wall, and he talks to it. He tells it that he knows the secret. He knows what the wall is. It is Ben Grimm, a hero, a warrior, and the thing of one of the universes within the Marvel multiverse. Thanos explains that none of this world is real. The entire Battleworld is baloney. And then he tells Ben Grimm of the real world, the world that he has left behind. That every day that Ben lies here, Doom wins. He wins every day. So he asks, "Will you stand up to it?" So the thing gets up, and he tears the wall apart with him. He will not just be a wall. As Maximus the Mad's followers begin to fall, Captain Marvel betrays the Goblin Queen. Whether or not she's still good, completely bad, or just confused, we don't know. But then Apocalypse of Battleworld entered the fight against Sinister, followed by those in the Thor Corps who now know the truth about the false god Doom thanks to Thor informing them. And as everyone was just fighting at the steps of Doom's castle, Maestro of Battleworld enters the fray, throwing his army of Worldbreaker Hulks at everyone. It's an epic battle between people who follow God Doom, people who know the truth, and people who just want to fight. Over at Project 42, both Reed Richards of the main universe and the maker of the Ultimate Universe are trying to figure out a way to get rid of God Doom. Maker tells Reed to witness an orchestra that he has created, pure chaos in which everyone distracts everyone. He orchestrated the fight at the steps. Reed agrees that this is the perfect distraction to put their plan into action, and he turns to Star-Lord. "Are you sure you can pilot the ship undetected, Star-Lord?" "Absolutely, probably. There's a decent chance." Reed then calls up Black Panther and Namor to let them know that it's time to begin their plans. Things are beginning. Black Panther steps up while wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, and he wishes Reed good luck. Namor and Black Panther are both standing in front of the shield, a mighty wall that separates the Battleworld. And Black Panther tells Namor to stay with the hidden weapons that they got from Doctor Strange's hidden base, and he slides down to the wall throwing explosives at it. Out pours the Marvel zombies, ready to munch on human flesh. They run at him, and as they go in to bite him, he orders them to kneel, which they oddly feel that they must do. He then offers them a second chance, a way to redeem themselves, a path of glory and honor. The zombies all debate which is better, eating meat or glory and honor, but oddly, they feel compelled to follow him. Then Namor shouts out from the hill, "Glory and honor!" And the zombies all reply, "Glory and honor!" Back on the battlefront, things are getting insane with death and destruction all over the place. But the bigger struggle is Star-Lord and Reed trying their best to fly in undetected, because as they grow closer, Star-Lord asks Reed, "Remember when I promised to get us here in one piece?" "Yeah." "Then you might want to hold on to something." Back in the battle itself, the Maestro calls out to Doom, "Can you see me from your castle, Doom?" But that's when behind him he gets a sense of something massive coming. And it's the Thing, smashing his way onto the battlefield to say hello as he destroys the Maestro's ship. Sue sees Ben Grimm as he is wrecking the battlefield, and she turns to her husband, God Doom. "What about Ben? What will you do, Victor?" But Valeria is the one that tells her mom not to worry. Ben Grimm is being handled, because Franklin Richards is riding his toy, the mighty Galactus, into battle. Back with Star-Lord, Reed, and the Maker, they manage to crash their ship into the side of the castle. So both Reeds head deep down inside, while Star-Lord guards the ship in this creepy-ass castle, as he puts it. The Thing and Galactus begin to slug it out as Sue calls out in shock that her son is on the battlefield, and in the actual battle itself. The Annihilation Horde has then arrived with Thanos riding atop, and all of the combatants are scared. The Annihilation Horde is one of the worst things possible in Battleworld. But as the battle between Galactus and Thing carries on, the Thing discovers that it is actually Franklin Richards on top of Galactus, the son of Doom and Sue. Ben realizes that this is Sue Storm's son, and he stops what he is doing to allow Franklin to punch his head off its shoulders. Sue can't believe what she just saw, and Val tells her it's like watching a movie or being in the theater, and then she turns to her mother. Do you trust me? Yes. Do you love me? Of course I do. Then follow me. Down with Star-Lord, the Black Swan walks into the room to see what the explosion was, and she finds the ship and Star-Lord. She hits him into a nearby wall, and Star-Lord calls out, "My spleen! My spleen!" as he starts looking around the floor. You see, Star-Lord has been carrying a toothpick around since the start of our tale, and once he finds where he dropped it, he turns to the Black Swan. Okay, last chance. If you stop right there, I won't use this. Black Swan glares at him. Empty threats. Just remember, I told you, he says with a grin, and he places the toothpick into the base of the World Tree, the mighty tree that holds up Castle Doom. And it moves, and it grows hands, and it stands up. I am Groot! Back with Sue and Valeria, Val leads her mother down to the trapdoor, which leads to Owen Reese, and she finds both Reed and the Maker there. Reed turns to the woman that was his wife in a whole nother lifetime. Hello, Susan. Back on the battlefield, Doom himself has finally decided to join the battle as Thanos jumps off the bug that he rode into battle. Doom sees him and he offers him the role of a Baron, and Thanos snickers. You offer me a gift? Me? You forget that I was once a god as well. The Infinity Gauntlet gave me that, but I did not use that power for mortal gains as you do. You are a weak god, a pretender. Doom looks at him. Do you have the Infinity Gauntlet now? I do not, yet I remain. Thanos, the great tyrant, is still enough for you. So, Doom punches Thanos through the stomach and rips his skeleton out of his body. At that moment, one of the artifacts Strange was keeping that Namor and Black Panther took opens a doorway right in front of the battlefield, and out pours the Marvel Zombies horde, followed by Black Panther and the Infinity Gauntlet. Doom stands before Black Panther and Namor. This is your doing, isn't it, T'Challa? I helped a little, Namor says, standing with T'Challa. Black Panther raises the gauntlet to the sky, and he turns Doom into ice, followed by Namor shattering it with his trident. It can't be that easy. It won't be. Doom begins to melt and reform himself. That hurt. And he blasts the two of them with his power. Let us fight as gods. Meanwhile, back with Sue, Valeria, and Reed, Sue stops him. I know you. You were the ones on the hologram with Stephen Strange when he died. Of course you remember me from there. I had nothing to do with that, Sue. It was Doom. You mean God. I mean Victor, Sue. However well-intentioned his goals were, I intend to end this charade. My name is Reed Richards, and I am the one who fixes things. Then Reed and the Maker enter the creation of all, the white-hot room. They walk down, and Owen Reese, the Molecule Man, asks them if they brought him any food. Reed shakes his head at Owen. No, I don't have anything. And of course, the creation of all would be the source of Doom's power. But the Maker turns to Reed and he traps him in a temporal bubble that begins to de-evolve Reed. He apologizes for this betrayal, but after seeing Reed get all weepy with his wife upstairs, he can't allow this type of weakness in a god. It's Molecule Man that then turns the tides in a hurry. Oh, but I can. And he frees Reed, and he turns the Maker into slices of himself, telling the Maker that he enjoys pizza. With Reed coughing as he changes back, Molecule Man steps up to him. Reed, you better get ready. He'll be here soon. Back at the battle, Doom is overcoming Black Panther even with the Infinity Gauntlet, but T'Challa is smiling through his bloodied mouth. We were just biding time, Doom. A look of panic comes across Doom's eyes as he teleports himself out of the battlefield, and he storms into the white-hot room. Richards, you had to meddle, didn't you? What is your plan? How are you going to stop this? I wasn't. I came to convince Owen that there was another way. Another way? I saved millions! Owen saved millions! You couldn't save anyone but yourself! You couldn't even save your family! How dare you? Doom snaps his fingers, but nothing happens to Reed. What is this, Owen? Did you bring me anything to eat? No. Then that makes you two equals, doesn't it? Fair is fair, right? The battle we've all been waiting for begins. Reed Richards versus Doom! Reed begins to wrap up Doom easily because Doom has been omnipotent far too long. He has completely forgotten how to fight. You made yourself a god and the first thing you did was replace me? I offered salvation. You stole my family! You think you could have done better, don't you? Don't you, Reed? Doom screams at him as they struggle and fight. With Doom's power glowing in his face, Reed tells him defiantly, yes! And we both know it, don't we? Doom reels back at that realization. Yes, damn you! Now die! But Owen Reese has been listening this whole time. Well then, if you both agree. And with a boom, everything ends again. The blaring white of the end of all. As everything is ending around him, T'Challa pulls the time gem out of the gauntlet, allowing its user to control time. He holds it close, and he's teleported away from this place to Wakanda, where he gives his people the technology to become more advanced than anyone before them, to excel past the rest of the world, to ensure that they will not die this time. Then, it truly ends again. Battleworld, God, Doom, Sheriff Strange, all of it's over. But what is it replaced with this time? 8 months later, we are now on the prime Earth of the Marvel Universe. Owen appears before Miles Morales, thanking him for the burger that he brought him, and he tells him, "I owe you one." Peter Parker walks onto the rooftop with Miles. "Did you tell your mom what you're doing today?" "Studying with a friend." "So not a total lie? Well, let's go beat up some bad guys, Spider-Man." "Oh, hell yes!" And both Peter and Miles swing into New York City. You see, Franklin Richards is a world builder. He has the ideas for entire universes, and this was his power long before the Battleworld even happened. Perhaps sometime I can tell you the story of how Franklin keeps the Marvel Universe young and how he wants it. But for now, Reed has the powers of a god, and Franklin is giving him the ideas to create worlds. Reed then takes a piece of the Molecule Man and he creates another world in the multiverse, based upon Franklin's ideas. They've created whole universes with a simple thought. Franklin then turns to his father, and Sue and Valeria run over. "So we're not superheroes anymore, Dad?" "No, not superheroes for a while, just science. And I'm not Mr. Fantastic anymore, I'm only Dad." Franklin jumps down from the rock that they're all standing on. "Gotta go play now." And Reed holds his head down as he realizes Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm aren't with them. But Sue explains, their stories aren't done yet. But Reed, he has decided to let go of everything. Anger, fear, and grudges. And to show that he's done this, he sent Doom home and fixed his face. Because everything gets to live. Everything lives.
And there you have it, today's full story. I hope you guys enjoyed. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell right here on this channel, as it will only ever be receiving full stories from the other channel. And if you want to see the videos as they come out, make sure you go check out the Comicstorian main channel, where you get 5 days of videos a week. I'll see you next time.